Hello, everyone.
Hello, everyone. Today's 17 for the Beregini of the Courageous One, which is one of my seven
Fabulous.
Bereginis, even though all of them bring great gifts to us. Knowing
Mhm.
that this is one of my seven ones, which is even embroidered in my dress here. This is for my future self. Here it is.
Oh, wow.
A big
Okay.
courageous
Yes.
one
Oh,
on both
yes,
wings, so
definitely.
to say. Here it is, the courageous one, my two
Fabulous.
courageous wings, so to say.
Yes.
When I
Yes.
spread my wings, then I
With
fulfill
courage.
my purpose.
Yeah.
And the
Yeah.
courageous is very prominent in my life. And I see just fire in it, double fire area sign, double wings with fire and passion. This is totally my thing. So bring on the courageous one, the courageous fire.
Yes. Yes.
And I'm just coming out from a few friends. We did a massive meditation because today
Yeah.
in the Maya calendar is the
Mm.
1313 portal
Yes.
opening of
Yes.
what they say Hunab Ku. It's a symbol for the galactic center where the new earth is being birthed. So
Mm.
speaking about the darkest night tomorrow, solar eclipse, and at the same time, the new gets born in this dark night in preparation for the solstice. And this portal has been actually open since 11:11, and tomorrow it's going to be really anchored, or today is like in those hours because different places on Earth have got different time zones.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like 3 days. This portal is really very potent and open. So I'm already in those energies. Yeah, uh, very potent. And
Yeah. Yeah. And now, and it's really useful because now it is about that manifestation of all the things that have been struggles before. Now they're starting to come into fruition. Now they're coming into a space where we're able to bring them forward in the way that they need to come forward. A lot of us have probably experienced struggling a lot, actually. And now it's kind of like the way is starting to become so much clearer and more easy. And yesterday you were kind of saying no longer are you kind of like really weird in this weird place anymore, because now we're in the space where the weird is becoming the norm. Yeah. The weirdies are the ones that are starting to make the new creations in the earth plane, and that's so helpful. And it is about this thing that we're now rising up enough with enough energy to be able to birth the new earth, because it does require weird people, really. Creative people, yeah, people that are seeing new solutions, new ways of being. Yeah.
absolutely. And that's why the grounding is very important because just now for the
Mm.
meditation, I brought in the symbol of from yesterday where the tree is around, and it's very important to ground ourselves, to be those vessels to carry the massive energies. And I
Yeah.
think that's where a lot of people are struggling with to keep those frequencies, because like scientifically those are called Schumann frequencies. If you
Mm.
look at them, they're all over the place for weeks. So even scientifically, we can show there's a lot happening. And if we don't have practices how to ground ourselves, it can be very, very overwhelming. And I see a lot of people who are struggling at the moment with that.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. And I think there is the aspect. I mean, I don't know how many people know too much about the Schumann frequencies, but they're the frequencies that run around the earth, basically. And this is how our ideas, and actually, if you have a thought and you do nothing with that thought, you often find that someone else has that idea, or you hear about it 3 or 4 days later or something like that. And it's because thoughts are meant to be grounded. They're meant to be used and utilized in a way that's going to be useful. And so if you don't use it, what happens is it follows on. When you go to sleep at night, you're already tapped into the Schumann frequency. And the Schumann frequency just goes round and around, and it kind of goes, oh, well, here's this bit of information. I wonder who's at my frequency right now that can have this dream or have this illumination. So if you haven't used your unique thread and started to ground your unique thread, means someone else is going to get your unique, your idea, your aspect, and they may run with it. Yeah. So it's such a really important thing to ground and to kind of get your unique thread and start to use it in the world.
Yeah.
I don't know how many times that's happened to me because I haven't followed through on some ideas, or I felt it was a bit impossible. And then, a couple of years later, I found that, oh my goodness, someone's doing what I had actually been telling a lot of people about. And I hadn't done anything about it. So there is something about really recognizing that we have to ground our ideas, and we then need to take some action. Yeah.
Yes, that's how.
As I hear that, I need to hear that for myself too, because these are truths that are coming out for me to hear as well.
Yeah. And what a good way to do it in a courageous way. So let's invite the courageous one.
Yeah.
Which for me is very much about taking the right action. And we are in the 6th circle. So we are already in this manifestation. Like we discussed it, if we see it as like the 9 worlds of the tree. And we started with the base, with the roots, and we are already really in this manifestation, where I also feel that my courageous one is also for the wings. She stands for my future self, which pulls me forward to manifest, to fulfill my purpose. So the courageous is also from the middle world and about taking the right action.
Yeah.
So let's invite the courageous one. May all beings have happiness and the cause of happiness and the courage to fulfill the happiness. May all beings remain free from suffering and the causes of suffering. May all beings remain connected to sacred joy and happiness that is totally free from sorrow. May all beings come to rest in a feeling of security and peace. May all beings be happy, content, and fulfilled, and courageous. May the courageous be with us. And so it is.
So it is. Do you want to do the affirmation for today's Beregini? Okay.
Getting the affirmation from the room, from our center. With courage and an open heart, I face all challenges in life. Stands for harmonious relationships or new relationships and experiences. 6th circle, Yav, the middle world.
wait for that to go through. It's taking a bit of time, but I can start with the king. With what came up in the tarot card.
Yes, please.
The tarot card was the priest royal of the golden earth, and it's the Knight of Pentacles.
So we had the priestess of the earth, and now the priest comes up.
Yeah, priest royal. So he's kind of like, you know, as I said, this is the prince before the king. Yeah. And really, this is quite interesting, because if you think about what he is, he's standing very quietly. Actually, let's just see if I can get that to see if we can see that. He's kind of on a moon, or yes, it's the moon. He's on the moon. He's very quiet. He's not running ahead. He's very still. And he's looking out at the world in a very specific way. He's looking and he's seeing he's seeing the next step. That's what he's really seeing. So like if you know the Knight of Wands, he just goes for it, right? He's just going, but often he gets very distracted. The Knight of Cups often has dreams which can't be fulfilled, yeah, because they're not grounded. And the Knight of Hearts is just kind of full of heart, but not enough thought, so there's not enough balance. But the Knight of Pentacles is still. And the Knight of Pentacles is all about seeing things manifesting into the next phase. So the Knight of Cups is really about recognizing that it's about bringing all these things into play and allowing yourself to know that the benefits of what you've reaped are now coming in. Right. So it's a very hopeful card, but it's also a very courageous card, because it's a still card, and in the sense of it's a knowing card, because it's using the base of the earth of the moon that's sitting here. It's using the information, despite being a very it's Pentacles, so it's very much an earth sign, but yet it's standing on the moon, which means it's using the moon, the intuition of the moon, to guide it, to bring forth the new kinds of information. So yeah.
What has he got in the hands? He's got something.
It looks like a shield. I'm trying to, I don't know if you can see it very well. Maybe I can try and bring it on. Can you see? I'll use the bigger one.
I see only something golden, but not in detail.
Yeah, I can try and bring this. Maybe you'll see this better on that. There. It almost looks like it almost looks like a crab or a I don't know.
I thought it's a musical instrument, like a harp. That's what I was thinking about.
Right. Okay. Yeah, that could be. I'm just going to bring it that way again.
And the star in his throat.
On his throat again, yes. But there's also what looks like golden stars around him. Can you see?
Yeah. So it certainly looks very young.
Yeah.
On the top, there's the symbol of it's the feminine symbol pointing down.
It's the feminine, yes. That's interesting, isn't it? Because it's often depicted as someone that's very grounded in earth, but actually this is a very feminine aspect. So this is really about focusing on the intuition and all the information that has come through from intuition, and ground that.
Yeah.
But now looking at that looks like a salamander or a lizard for me on the heart, or the heart. It looks like a heart. But my guess is if you have something like that, that's talking about the primordial soup, all the emotions of of all the ancient ways. You know, we all started off at one point, evolutionary wise, you know, as we went through the whole phases. So this may be some information or a reminder about our ancestry.
Looks like he stands on a feather.
If I turn it that way, you'll see it's actually a face. If I turn it this way, okay, you'll see it's actually a face. See?
A face?
It's like the moon, the face of the moon.
Oh, okay.
It's actually
Looks like a feather as well.
Yeah. No, it's actually if when you get the picture, you'll see it's actually the face of the moon.
Mm.
Yeah. So what it says is so basically practice rhythmic arts, experience how the mundane unites with the celestial. So it's really recognizing that the intuition needs to unite with the physicality. Physical breathing can be divine inhalations and exhalations received measure according to capacity. Concentrate upon the breath as the sparkling fountain of the Mithraic light flowing outward and downward all around you. Pause, receiving below, draw upward and inward through your center. Pause, receive above, from above, fountain of light once before, well-shaped traditional rhythm counts. And it's really discover how that which powers the voice bring the worlds into being. And I'll guide you along the level road. So that's what it's part of it is about on that aspect. But it's certainly in the writer, he's also very, very quiet and very he's almost looking, but he knows that whatever he's planned is coming into fruition. He's done things, he's put them in space so that they will actualize. So this is kind of like a really good card for us, really, in essence, because it's really saying we're kind of on the route, and you've been doing what you've been doing, and I've been doing what I've been doing, and we're moving towards that space in where things are becoming actualized in their full potential. Yeah. So I think it's a great one, actually, for us.
Well, it's not surprising that it also has got the feminine triangle, because it's about grounding. It is bringing it to the earth, which is the feminine. The earth births everything. And that's why when we do body work, we always ground ourselves coming from the roots up and not from the down, from the up down. So this is not surprising. So let's see what the oracle brings. Speaking of the earth keeper. So here she is, a beautiful, like a phoenix.
Oh,
phoenix,
like a phoenix rising.
Big wings, and it's like she's got a massive heart with little hearts inside.
Oh, yes. And definitely the earth is kind of under her wings.
And there are lots of Earth's planets.
They are.
And she has got a
but
sun.
It's almost
here.
like she's holding the earth, isn't it? For me, when I see her, she's holding the earth.
She's holding the earth and all the other planets. She can hold it all. And it's like the sun here, and the intuition and the third eye. Got like the sun and the heart. Like the three power centers we spoke about when awakening in the three flames. And here around the womb space, she can hold all the Earth and all the other planets, can keep everything inside, and like the flame in the heart and the intuition third eye center. And it's interesting because I mentioned the wings.
Yes,
Like
yes,
my
yes, yes.
courageous one is certainly like very prominent, like when I open my arms, and she has got also those magenta fire, life bringing colors.
Yeah, yes, yeah, yeah, yeah. But I'm also, I don't know what it is, but I know that maybe when you're very close, but it also looks like there's a face lower down as
Yes,
well.
I've seen it too.
Right,
True.
right.
I can see it too. It's like a being here.
Yeah, 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 yeah. But almost not human, because it doesn't look like a human face for me.
Mm.
And then there's the triangle. That's also, well, maybe it's the way her neck comes down. There's a kind of a triangular kind of, so there's lots of, in a way, there looks like lots of geometric structures within her structure.
Mm. And
Very
I spoke about
beautiful.
star seeds most recently, and some people say that the Earth will be the school for different star seeds. Once we are awakened to our highest potential self, that's why the Earth is also in the middle of the Yggdrasil tree. And that's why, I mean, star seeds have been spotted God knows how many times. So there must be a reason why they come to human Earth. And some people predict if we are awakened to our highest potential on human Earth, it could be the school where all different planets and stars it's coming to learn. And that's why she's the Earth keeper. Could be. It's one interpretation.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, there is a reason whether other planets have kind of got destroyed, that they didn't evolve enough to let their planet be fruitful in the same way that the Earth is. It's almost like, it's really important that we raise our level, that we make and protect our Earth, so that we can be help the star seeds, in education and evolve. And so it does feel like a really good card for today. Certainly for today.
And it always
for this
fits.
portal. Yeah. And interesting, which was, I said, what was interesting when I said on the back here, it looks like he's got stars around him. So I'm thinking this, as you were saying, star seeds.
And of course, the whole card is about Earth as well.
Exactly. Yeah. Beautiful green color too.
Yes.
Which is stunning. So the aura is basically green. You can't see it so well. Maybe I can bring it there that you can see it. But it's basically green and purple. Very, very, very bright purple. So you'll be able to see it. So earth, of course, which we know green is the earth color, and purple, higher order. Yeah, higher order. So yeah, but it's mainly, doesn't seem to be sort of a global effect, right? Around globe, it just seems to be flat. And so, which I'm thinking it's just expanding out rather than having been contained in one space. More strong down here, it seems, although if you look at it from in the picture, it doesn't look as strong, but it's showing a stronger, almost like an energy, two energies coming in. Me, yeah. We'll give some balance and see what happens as the resonance shifts and moves, and see what happens as we work. And the rune.
The
And the
rune is
rune.
again the Fehu rune.
Oh, nice. Oh, that's a good one. That
Abundance.
is absolutely. I mean, seriously. Seriously, isn't that a wonderful rune to have for today? We've talked about
Well,
the
this is a
page thing.
wonderful rune for any time. So it can come up anytime. This has been like 2 days ago. It can today. And abundance on all terms is always welcome.
Oh yes, oh yes, oh yes, oh yes. Abundance is always good. I said to my partner yesterday, which was really interesting this morning. I said, you know what? He always says he bought a thing for the Euro millions, which was like 170 million. And he said, but that would be too much. That would be just too much money. What would I do with that amount of money? So I said to him going in the car today, I said, you have got to stop this. I said, next time you've got to say, if I have that amount of money, imagine who I can give it away to so that I can have just how much I need.
Yes.
And he started laughing at me, but it was really weird for the first time. I just thought, no, you're choosing money not coming in. Think about it in the sense, well, I'll have more than surplus and I'll have more to give away. How nice is that? I can see lots of philanthropic reasons for giving money away.
Absolutely. I mean, this is my main intention, to become rich.
Exactly.
Because
Yeah.
the more people who are meaning good in the world, who want to do good, if the money is in their hands, imagine how much good we can do.
Exactly.
Yeah, so this is my main intention for being rich, not to, I don't know, to own 100 cruises and everything. I certainly want to have my free properties, and then the rest I want to just put in my projects. Yeah. And one of my projects is the foundation for the preservation of all embroidered art around the world.
Mm-hmm.
And imagine all the jobs which are done being created for these beautiful women who do all this embroidery work from my ancestral background.
And I think also, whereas before it was seen as not something that was really important, that people see it as something that's important to our well-being, important to our ability to be in life and flourish. I think it's so important that women see that it's not something that's just there to do, but something that's there to celebrate.
Well, there's a major shadow around.
Yeah.
I'm working on this shadow part for years, and there's still always a new layer coming up. It's the biggest shadow on human earth. Speaking of the earth keeper, if we don't learn to invite the abundance where money is just one side of it,
yeah,
and from this highest vibration, then we cannot rise as a society, because there is so much blood and shadow on it. The scarcity. And it's just an exchange value. And it will eventually probably change and disappear anyway. Because if people are all enlightened, we don't need money. We just communicate telepathically, we exchange our gifts and talents. But as long as it's here, this is yet another opportunity to rise and to integrate and to bring this biggest shadow into the light.
Well, I have the belief, and I do think that as we start to rise, we will require less and less of earthly things I think we won't require as much food, and we won't require as much things, because we'll be resonating at a much higher level, and we won't need what we think we need, yeah, right now, which is we'll probably be able to take food from the sun,
Mhm.
yeah, and so we won't need necessarily all the kinds of things that pollute the earth,
Yeah.
and that way the earth can be regenerated and sustained.
Yeah. And
I
now
mean,
all the beings on
that's the thought.
earth.
I don't know whether that's true, but I do think I have an idea that should happen and will happen.
And now all the beings on earth who eat only light food.
Yeah.
They're already here.
So I was having a read. I wanted to have a look at Asherah. We were reading about the wife of God, Asherah, and actually they were the pre-Cainite. She was, because I was looking up the snakes, because the snake is her consort. The snake
Mhm.
is the aspect of that. And I also kind of just was thinking about how, my name SHE was the Asher, the share in there. I just automatically saw that and felt, well, this is part of my heritage on some level. And so I've just been reading up and finding up a little more about how how they actually the Canaanites were, the Hebrews at the time did not, well, not Hebrew, they weren't Hebrew at the point, but the people that were studying for Yahweh wanted to get rid of the gods of Canaan, and Asherah was the main goddess of Canaan, and she was the tree god. And so yeah, and if you go back in all time, she's almost like Freya. In
Mhm.
fact, there's some equivalent in thinking that she is, they're very similar in a lot of the ways. So yeah, I was just really paying attention to that and looking at that and looking at stories about that, and yeah, just spending a little time thinking about how that seems to connect, because one of the other names they were talking about, the Greek, is they use the word grove. And I thought, isn't it interesting? I've got my name's SHERE, and then I've got grove too. So there's
Mhm.
something about this double bit of information that is I don't, it's like there's no synchronicity. I mean, not, there's no coincidence, there's always
No coincidence.
synchronicity. And yeah, so I've been spending a little time contemplating on that, and thinking how that in itself will come into being, and how I can bring that into being, because this is the time now when everything is going to move very fast, I think.
Yeah, and it's doing already.
You were doing a meditation today? Yeah, you said you had come just from a meditation.
Yeah, with a few friends, we met today for this 1313 portal from the Maya calendar. Today is a massive anchoring of, yeah, Hunabku. This is a very one of the oldest symbol for the galactic center in the
Yeah,
universe, where we are birthing this sun from nothingness, from the darkness. So
yeah,
not coincidentally, with tomorrow's dark moon and solar eclipse, where the sun is totally hidden from us. And the sun,
Yeah.
of course, is the light, or like sun and soul,
Yeah.
they are shining the light on our path. And if it's totally hidden, this is the moment of a reset. And this energy, since we are all on different time zones, already present since yesterday.
Yeah.
And many people around the world meeting now to birth the sun in the darkest night. In the Mayan calendar, it's like also the end of a 26,000 year cycle.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So a very potent time. So I am just met with a few friends to do a meditation. And if you're interested, I can also send a meditation, which is a Mayan grandmother. She's doing it to invite the light in form of a Shekinah. This is the
Oh yeah.
dove.
Yes, the Shekinah is the Jewish. Yeah, they use the Jewish. Yeah. Yeah.
So she calls in the Shekinah in form of a dove to rise and bring this anchoring of the Hunab Ku.
Interesting. When Jesus was baptized, there was a dove.
But there's a
So the
dove
dove is.
always in churches as well.
Yeah.
On the top ceiling when we look. Yeah, there's so much secret symbolism. And of course, the feminine has been taken out from all monotheistic texts. Monotheistic is Judaism, Christianity, and Islam.
Yeah.
But she's always present in terms of those symbolism, like the dove is the Shekinah.
Yeah.
And yeah, many different symbolism. Just like
I mean,
what you
people.
mentioned,
We don't.
Ashura, she has just been taken out from the Judaistic text.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's always been there. And I have done this reading about the painting of Maria
Yes. Yes.
when she has been proclaimed that she's going to birth Jesus Christ, and she's been weaving. And I thought this is like such a relevant image for today's
Yes.
times and for us weavers here in the group. And now with the Christ consciousness birth rising, I think this is just such a great reference.
It
This
was a
picture.
brilliant reference. I really enjoyed listening to it, and the reminder was fabulous. So thank you very much for putting that in the group. So yeah, it is, because it does take courage to go. Yeah, I mean, obviously it was very hard for her to. I mean, it was going to be a very difficult thing for her, wasn't it, to bring a child up in a world where she wasn't even married.
Yes, exactly. And a virgin, and it's like, who? How can she even do that? I mean, we come so many times at these boundaries and from our existence where logically we cannot comprehend things like, oh, okay, we read about it, like the 21st, beginning age of Aquarius, birth of Christ consciousness. It's one thing to hear about it, but you cannot grasp it logically. Yeah.
Mm.
This is just something like, okay, you can be shocked, overwhelmed,
Yeah.
but you still have got your thread. And just make sure you are keeping hold of your thread, which is your life, your soul purpose. And if you do that, that's already enough. Don't ever lose the thread.
Yes. And so many, I was just thinking the other day, a lot of, because a lot of kids that are born after 2000 and even 2012, that, because of the consciousness that changed in 2012, well, certainly 2000, as it started changing, a lot of people from my generation certainly are in the space where there's a lot of undoing and unwinding that still needs to have happen. So just really thinking about how a lot, a lot of what we're talking about, just even undoing those beliefs, those thoughts, and being aware of where we hold beliefs that are not helpful to us, like we only believe that there's only God and there wasn't a goddess, you know what I mean? Or that things were actively taken out of our belief structure, and actually maybe we need to reconnect back to the old, or maybe we need to create a whole new, which is kind of like a new world, like in the Resonance Foundation, a new belief about everything.
Well, I certainly believe that it's about what you say is like to remember and reweave, like integrate the broken parts.
Yeah.
And at the same time create the new, because like Albert Einstein said, what has not worked before, it's not going to change. You have to create something totally new.
Yeah.
Instead of hoping that the old is going to return, which has not worked already. So why do you want it to return back anyway?
Yeah.
But yeah, it causes a lot of fear in people. It
does indeed.
And that's okay. It's normal that it's there. I mean, like my son today, when he heard like Merkel proclaimed very harsh lockdowns after next Wednesday, and it's like he really broke out and crying, and he said like, oh my God, he already missed the last party when he changed schools from primary school to the grammar school he started after the summer, cancelled. Because at the beginning of the new school, the kids is so much new stuff and everything. Then there was the shutdown because of the corona case in school. And now he was looking forward to party next week because he is going to this multicultural grammar school where everybody would have presented how they celebrate Christmas or how they not celebrate Christmas, So everybody was invited to present like a little story from the culture background. He was really looking forward to it, like because he can speak about the Russian, about the English, about the Moroccan way. Yeah. And now like, oh my God, again, lockdown.
Poor kid.
And he was looking forward to that because he has made friends and everything. And of course he's crying and is really devastated. I mean, how horrible is that?
It is awful. Yeah, poor thing.
It's like those kind of stabilities we all needed. So if they are being taken away, it is harsh. You cannot just put it away, And for me, it's like, oh my God, now it's like the grammar stuff. Like if it's going to be a long-term lockdown, like they're considering it to be, like for a few months, then I have to do the homeschooling of the grammar school, which is like the hardest grammar school here.
Yeah.
It's a lot if I consider that to teach to him.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, I'm also a bit like, oh my God, how am I going to do it? So it's not nice, definitely not, and brings about many, many challenges. But still, this is exactly this dark phase of not knowing, and from this dark setting the right focus, bringing in the light and focus on the new emerging, and doing it again and again and again. And this is form of anchoring and weaving a new story from the unknown. And this power we've got, all of us, to say, okay, I'm afraid of this and this and this, and this is hard. And still I focus on the new, and I'm birthing the new, and being an active part of weaving the new story or weaving the new
Yes.
tapestry emerging.
And that is, we have, you know, it is really about looking and co-creating, deciding and saying, okay, this is what it is. And this is a little like how what this the Page of Pentacles is about. It's about looking and knowing that whatever you start doing, whatever you're manifesting in that sense, it will take positive action, it'll take positive form. But it is so important to really get close and pay attention to what it is that you need, and listen to your source, listen to your soul.
Yes.
And we're in the light portal now, so we're at the perfect soul work time for the real transition, because everything now is so powerful in this activation that almost anything that we intend is going to manifest.
Mm. Yeah.
Mm. Shame. So how is he feeling now? Has he managed to, you've calmed him down?
He would talk to me on the phone because I said his dad's this weekend.
Oh, yeah.
He was all crying and all desperate. And I said to him, yeah, it's normal that he feels like that, but we will learn how to deal with it, because we have learned that when the first lockdown came, we still
Yeah.
managed after a while. And the advantage is that the boy who sits next to him in school, he's our neighbor. So
Yeah.
we still can go and visit them, and we've got a great neighbor just in the house, and she's like our granny, and she always says like, my door is always open.
Oh, sweet.
And you can always come with a parole, like with the motto, I need time off. And the door is always open, and this is nice. And yeah, so seeing the little
I think that's,
things.
yeah, that's really nice that he's got a friend that's close by, because that's, you know, that makes it bearable for him, I think.
Yeah, and the granny where he can always take his like steam off.
Mm-hmm.
And things like that are very valuable. And we have got a family, and now with the upcoming baby, which is very strong knit family, and that is going to get us through this time. But of course, I admit that it's hard for him. I cannot take away this feeling from him, and it's totally justified.
Yeah, yeah, these things are just going to be for a wee while until everything resets to some degree. But it will reset eventually.
Well, it's happening already, but that's the thing. That's what we are talking about. It's going to be different. It's not going to be the same like before.
No.
And if we try to imagine that it's going to be just total normal, I'm afraid
No, it ain't going
you're
to be.
not doing us any service to think like that.
And in actual fact, in any kind of trauma, any kind of experience, It's really about how do you create new from that. You can't go, you have to develop anti-fragility. You have, the best way of doing that is recreation rather than going back to what was before.
Yes.
And just recognizing that. And actually, sometimes it's always to have something new. Maybe it's not such a bad thing.
As a matter of fact, only the new can create something different and hopefully more sustainable than what has not worked before. I certainly see this time to reevaluate what really counts, to value your strong knit network of support. Yeah, then you all of a sudden realize what counts in life.
Mm. And, of course, there's always going to be moving into spaces, but in general, I think it has to happen. It has to, in a way, it has to happen because it's unsustainable the way it is right now.
You mentioned you're going to move house.
Well, probably. Maybe I come to Germany.
Well, it did sound like when you did the meditation that you have already got the property. Like,
no, I don't have property in Germany. No.
Only that you consider to move.
No, it's that I was thinking. Well, we probably will move now that things are shifting around here. And Andrew has been wanting, my partner has been wanting to move for a while. He keeps looking at houses. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I think he wants to move.
Where does he want to move to?
Towards the mountains, really. More towards the mountains. He loves the
mountains. Maybe we all move to Kazakhstan then, because there are no mountains here. We have to move to Kazakhstan. Which I dream about anyway.
I would love to go to Kazakhstan. I would love to. Love to see what it's like there.
I'm sure you will love it. Whoever has been there before me loves it. But has he got a certain location of mountains in mind, or?
No, I mean he has looked mainly for areas here in England, so to live sort of towards the Lake District, mm-hmm. which we often go to anyway, because we quite like it, and travel there. But he would be happy anywhere that's close enough to be able to get home if he needed to be. Say we had to be here just to see make sure if his mother got sick. You'd want to be able to get you'd want to be able to get back easily, relatively easy, when you don't want to be on the other side of the world.
And his family?
They're all here. They're all here. All here in Nottingham, Cambridge way. Yeah. I always said I'd meet my partner, and he would have come, and I always knew he was going to come from Robin Hood land. And he does. He comes from just outside where the royal oak is, big oak. And
I just wanted to
always
say
knew.
Nottingham, of course. That's where the Robin Hood comes
Exactly.
from. The New Forest.
Yeah.
Beautiful area. I lived in Southampton. I studied 3 years in Southampton. Southampton is also the New Forest.
Mm-hmm.
Going to Nottingham and everything. So I know the beautiful forest around there. And of course, one route always remains for me there in Great Britain, because altogether 11 years is a long time.
It is a very long time to live here, yeah.
But I loved Wales too, I must admit. 4 years I was in Wales, and I love this Celtic Welsh culture very much. I'm not sure what I loved more.
But Wales is very beautiful.
Yeah, isn't it
just? It's a very beautiful place, yeah.
Oh my good God. I lived in Cardiff for 4 years. And I love it.
Very historical, almost very, the energy there is amazing.
Mm-hmm.
I think in Wales, because it's very steeped in tradition, isn't it?
Yeah, the
it's
Celtic tradition.
In a lot of stories and myths and things like that, which are lovely.
Of course, which I love so much, no? Myths,
exactly.
Stories, like the whole
like going back
buildings,
home, wasn't it?
the mystery wherever you go, and it's like the spirits everywhere.
It was home from home for you.
Yeah, and I mean, we all have got different homes.
Yeah.
I'm sure I lived at some point in England. I mean, I've done a DNA test. It didn't come up that my roots are there, but I'm sure in some very, very old previous lives it must be, because I felt so at home there. And of course, Southampton is close to Stonehenge. I was to Stonehenge so many times. Back then, there was no fence around.
I know. Yeah, when I first
was just able to
arrived.
visit it, like to be at the stones. And as a matter of fact, my mom, before she died, just a year beforehand, she visited me, and I've been at the Stonehenge together with my mom.
Nice.
So there are no coincidences, you know. And this whole Avalon and the priestesshood, like, I feel so drawn to it. So must have been even older than the DNA tests, which go like only like 7 generations.
Yeah. So where did it show you were from? Just in your normal DNA, in the normal DNA? What did it show?
Well, obviously, like North Africa. I guess this is because I was married to Moroccan. And then 80% is Baltic states.
Right.
In Baltic. No wonder, because they also have got this beautiful embroidery culture and everything. So I'm sure that's where it comes from my previous life. Yeah, 80% Baltic.
Right.
And of course, also Kazakhstan, Central Asia. I've also got like 14%. And this is the Ukraine as well. Like it's this whole like North Europe thing. My mom was Ukrainian, wasn't she? Like roots Ukraine. Her dad, her mom.
I've never heard of that. How do you spell that?
Ukrainian.
Yeah. Oh, Ukrainian.
Ukrainian. Yeah.
Oh, right. Oh, okay. Okay. That was. I just maybe it just. Well, that would be your Russian roots, wouldn't it?
Yes, exactly. Even though Ukrainian, they've got a very long own tradition. It's the most preserved embroidery arts around the world. They're very proud of the embroidery. They've got an emblem of like with a certain symbolism. Vyshivankas, which I talk about in my book, they're all from Ukraine and very proud of this embroidery tradition. And there's a lot of science behind it as well. Like you can even study it there, where you can really go very deep into the symbolism of, very interesting. I suppose that's where I started to remember. Those are my roots, where I have got my passion for the embroidery.
Mm-hmm.
So it's 4 o'clock already here, 3 o'clock at your end.
Yeah. Isn't it interesting? Things just fly by so quickly.
Yeah, 1 hour is nothing.
Exactly.
And the fire is still burning. For me, it's just halfway through. So much fire in this courageous one.
Yeah, a lot of fire.
So any final words?
And I think my final words is really about focusing on just being still, recognize, just carry on going forward, because in actual fact, you're on the right track, and have the courage to continue. So just be there, trust in the process, and move forward.
For me, it is like keep your inner fire burning. Center yourself, ground yourself in your inner fire. So that's why I think I will embroider also the inner fire in the center, which is the solar plexus, like the whole womb. Like ground yourself in your womb and keep your inner fire burning.
Keep the home fire burning.
Which will give you the necessary energy and courage to move forward and to fulfill your purpose, what you came here for. May your inner fire be with you.
Well, it's certainly a force. My body was so hot last night. I've been listening to some of the meditation, and boy, did the inner fire off.
The Free Flames meditation from Leola?
Yeah, I was listening to it, yes. It was.
That is powerful, yes. Isn't it?
It was indeed. I struggled to sleep because I did it before I went to bed. Oh my goodness.
Oh God, no. I wouldn't do it before going to bed. I would do it first thing in the morning.
I know, it was not the right move. But anyway, it's fine. I did it, and it was useful. My inner fire got fired up.
Yeah, that's what it's for.
Exactly, to keep things going.
Well, thank you.
Okay, thank you. 15:05. Wow. Okay.
Thank you very much. Let's continue to keep the fire burning.
Yes.
And have a wonderful rest of Sunday.
And you too. Are you doing anything today?
Oh, I'm continuing on my intercultural calendar.
Right.
I'm telling you, it's like I've tried to upload it many times, and it always keeps coming back from KGP on Amazon because of little thingies.
Right.
Oh my gosh, this is giving me a headache.
So this is the courage to continue.
Oh, absolutely. I never give up. I'm not someone to give up ever. It's not in my double fiery Aries nature. It's never been.
Absolutely not.
So I already contacted Rob Cubbon for advice, where we purchased this course where we learn. So I'm hoping for his advice.
Mm-hmm.
And in the meantime, I'm doing the translation into English, because this is also a big task. And
Yeah.
it's already so close, because there are two little tiny mistakes. Yeah. Whereas
Yeah.
beginning of the week there were hundreds. Like,
Oh, excellent.
when I thought, oh my God, how am I going to resolve all this? Now I'm down to two little things where it's outside of the margin. So I'm almost there.
Well done, you. Well done, you.
So I can
That's
feel
excellent.
it, and it will be such a great feeling. It's up on Amazon, it's published. Yeah.
That is amazing.
And then I will send the link to purchase the present for next year. So, yeah. But this is my goal for today. The rest of the day, I wanted to get it finished so we can start a new week focusing on our journals. So, yeah, working on our Beregini journals.
Exactly. I've done quite a lot on that. So I must send you what I've finished. And then we'll see what we need to do to finalize.
Okay, so
exciting. Take care. Yeah.
Take care. Take care, everybody. Keep well. Keep your fire burning.
Yes.
And we will see you tomorrow to this powerful solar eclipse, dark moon Monday.
Fabulous. All right. Yeah, I know. Outside, I looked for the moon and I couldn't see it last night. So yeah, it's there. All right. Take care, and we'll see you all tomorrow.
Yeah. Take care. Bye bye. Many blessings.
Yeah.
Blagadaru.
I gotta.